because they don't often play at the same time as Argyle, and I've got mates who have season tickets, I'll go. And I've got kind of into Fulham. Like, I now have opinions on players.
Yeah. Fulham suits you, Ted.
I don't deny it.
We know that.
Come on.
The pheasant pie, the mead, the port.
The pie.
You're loving
Come
it.
on,
Yeah.
boys.
It looks a bit like a vape.
It looks a bit like a vape, doesn't it? But it can't be, surely.
If it was a vape, I think it would be understandable because it was quite tetchy towards the end there.
Yeah,
You're just having it for emotional support. That's what you're doing.
My
It's just in your
emotional
hand for
support
emotional
vape.
support.
Yeah,
vape.
exactly. Me
Yeah.
and my lost
It's
Mary.
such a great photo, though.
It is
It's like the
fantastic.
ultimate passion of football. It's the ultimate last-minute winner.
When people in April last year, there were footballers wearing gloves, I got so angry because I know you're doing that as a fashion statement,
Yeah.
but it can't be good for you as a player.
You should start the game on a yellow card if you wear gloves in April.
And what happens if you take your
you're
gloves off in the match? Because that's also like taking your shirt off, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
exposing a body
Back
part
in
that
the day,
wasn't.
Thierry Henry, long sleeve and gloves, just
Yeah.
throws them on the floor.
Scoring a goal and
Yeah.
whipping the gloves
Yeah.
off and giving the
Swinging your
jazz
gloves.
hands like
Yeah.
this.
And you get 2 yellows, and you get a yellow for each hand, send it off. Dreadful.
Jazz hands.
Welcome to the Knockabout Podcast. We are a football podcast. We try not to take life too seriously. Have a bit of a laugh, have a drink during the show. All brought to you by Le Bon, the app where you bet against your mates.
We definitely won't be taking things too seriously on this podcast, and we promise we will try to keep talking about Mr. Testicles to a minimum today. But yeah, we can't make any promises. And we'll be digesting the best memes from the week, talking about the biggest stories and whatever's pissed us off. And we'll also, because we're so kind, be offering our wonderful advice on any dilemmas you may be facing.
I don't know how you looked at me when you said Mr. Testicles, because if someone's not seen this podcast before, they're like, oh, I guess that's his nickname. Make sure to add us on socials. Just search at Knockabout Pod on all of them, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can get in touch too via us emails, hello@knockaboutpod.com. So get in touch with any of your game day disasters or things you want us to talk about in future.
It's because you talk bollocks, Ted.
Hey!
Come on.
That is true.
Actually, talking about Mr. Testicles, there were some great comments on Instagram and TikTok from that reel that went up.
Oh,
What was that one about? It was someone's first ever game that they'd been to.
so I'll get it. I'll get it.
Because you must be like, if it's your first ever game, it must be like, well, this is every game then, I guess.
It's
That's
just a
what made
different
him-
set of genitalia running around the pitch trying to score a goal at some point during a game.
It's what made him fall in love with the game, I
Yeah.
think. Oh, I'll get the comment here so I can check the guy. His name is Rob Keno, and he says, my first ever game had an appearance from him, and I actually thought a player had lost a bet or something. I have 0 pictures from the game, apart from a high-end, for that time, super zoomed photo of him. And I just love that, your first game is such a big occasion, isn't it? And that his first ever game, the only picture that he thought this needs to be, encapsulated and preserved in time is...
Well, you'd be hooked, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
though,
you
if
would.
you saw a massive pair of testicles running across at the first
Imagine
thing.
going home though that night and your mum being like, walking back through the door with your dad. Your mum be like, "How was it?" It's like, amazing. There's a massive set of bollocks running around the pitch.
Did you take any pictures?
You're not going again. I mean, I remember though mascots are quite big for that, because there was a time when I went to see an Australian rugby game, and at half time they had like a marriage ceremony between 2 mascots, and it'd been like a season-long arc. So like a load of people were like invested in. I think they were 2 Eels. I'm trying to remember the team, Melbourne Eels or something, or Sydney Eels or something. And so the Eels got married, and I remember thinking, I could be quite... I'm not really enjoying the rugby league game, but I'll definitely come back for like the next instalment in this soap opera that they've sort of started.
It's like Neighbours during half-time of the football going on.
Exactly. It's like, well, they've cancelled that now, so maybe Channel 5 can pick up the Eel
Absolutely.
plotline.
Where are they now? I just like the thought of like us getting Mr. Testicles back and like, something to marry him.
Yeah. Who's marrying Mr. Ted?
Well,
let's
Mr.
not get into it. to be
Yeah,
fair.
I was going to say, and straight away I've broken the promise of trying not
talking
to
bollocks.
talk about.
How have your weeks been otherwise, though, apart from
Right,
thinking about
so this week, I had a bit of car trouble last week, and it means that I had to hire a car this week. And for the first time in my life, I'm driving a brand new car. I'm driving a 25 plate car. It's not mine, it's a hire car, right? I fucking hate it. I hate new cars, right? There is too much technology in new cars nowadays.
I agree with that.
You absolutely do not need, right?
What car is it?
It's a Ford Puma.
Right.
And So to open the boot, you have to press a button and it opens the boot automatically. But already, it's only got 6,000 miles on the clock. Already, that's broken.
Fantastic.
Oh
A boot was never broken with just the normal, and then you wang it up yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. It's got a weird thing where when you try and change lane on the motorway, it tells you you're drifting and tries to moves you back into the middle lane itself. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
That is literally robots taking over
your
job as a bad driver.
I know. Ridiculous. No, but it does it even when you're trying to change lane.
Oh my
stupid.
God.
Yeah.
That's actually...
It's quite dangerous.
I don't think it does it if you indicate, so that's maybe where I'm going wrong, to be fair.
Or if you're not about to immediately crash into a car.
But the thing that's really pissed me off, actually, the mirror, the rear view mirror, I didn't know that we were living in the past with mirrors and that mirror technology had come on. It's not actually any technology, just the definition on the mirror is scary. Like, it is so... I look about 400 in this mirror. I look in this mirror and I'm like, holy fuck, I can see every like wrinkle and tiny little thing on my face.
That's bizarre.
I'm like, I didn't need it. This is the thing I'm pissed off about most. Not about the fact that the boot's broken or
That's
anything.
like a horror movie mirror where it shows your true self.
I was looking at
It's
myself and I'm like, what the fuck are these bags under my eyes? And then I got to the radio where I was working. I went inside and looked in the bathroom. I'm like, I look fine.
But how does mirror technology improve?
Mate,
This is
I
what
don't know.
I don't understand.
This mirror's in 8K. That's
Really?
all I know.
That's
Like,
horrible.
it is next level mirror shit. Yeah.
It's like when phones like have got better year by year, and you're like, "Oh, this camera's amazing," and then you flip it on yourself, and you're like, "Fucking hell!"
Actually, as
give
well.
me back my
Yeah,
iPhone
exactly.
4.
Yeah, mine's terrible.
I didn't want to see myself in the mirror either because something happened this week where I had all my kids on my own on Saturday morning and it was like pissing it down. Terrible, right? So I came up with a game. Now, kids' toothbrushes nowadays have a small suction pad on the bottom.
And we're off.
Where you can stick them to like the tiles on the wall or stick them to like the sink and stuff like that, so that they don't
Right.
lose their. I don't know why they've done it anyway. So one of them was brushing their teeth, and I was like trying to stick it on my head, right?
Yeah.
This suction thing. So I whacked it on my head like really hard, right? In fact, Jack, we've got a photo of this somewhere. If you can show them a picture of me with a toothbrush stuck to my head. This was our Saturday morning. We'll get this up for Lucas. So I was done with it. Anyway, all fun and games.
Dalek
We're having a good
cosplay from
time.
you there.
I pulled it off and I had a bruise on I might still have it on my forehead there.
Oh my God! There's
You
like
see
a
it, like,
tiny
right there, if you can see
remnant
that.
of
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the day, this was Saturday, so a couple of days ago, I had like a fat bruise on my head. I had a gig that night. I had to go on with like a full-on red mark right on my head.
And you'd be like, I got this from a toothbrush.
Yeah.
How
And then
bad
I get-
are you at brushing your teeth?
And then I get in the car and it's like actually a really defined bruise thing on my head.
That's
Yeah.
incredible, mate.
So that's the sort of shit I do with my kids when.
Did they laugh? Did they enjoy it though?
I mean, for a minute, I enjoyed it more. I was like, it'd go down well at the football, wouldn't it? You know.
I was going to say, forget Mr. Testicles. It's Mr. Toothbrush
that
to
feels-
promote, dental hygiene.
That feels like it could have been a protest from sort of some point in the 2010s was anti-ownership where everyone had a toothbrush on their head because, the Colgate family were misrunning West Ham
Too
or
much
something.
fluoride in it or something.
You've set something off now. You've started a trend.
big
That
time.
is absolutely brilliant. So Storm Amy resorted to you.
Yeah, having a bruise on my
Having
head.
a bruise on your
Yeah,
forehead.
but toothbrush.
Yeah.
Oh, superb. Well, I saw Lady Gaga this week.
You've continued your trip through all of your musical favourite artists.
All my musical favourite. We went from Oasis to Lady Gaga.
Quite
I wonder
the
how
contrast.
many people were at both of those gigs in the
I
past 10
reckon
days.
there's more than you think. What I'll say there's probably zero crossover with was the crowd at Lady Gaga and Burton Away the
okay,
weekend
great.
before. I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
in terms of that crossover, I think it was quite... The amount of pina coladas consumed at Burton's away end by the Argyle fans was probably sizably less than at the O2. But in my continuation, I've made a Lady Gaga 11.
Oh,
I'm
for
looking
fuck's
for- I'm
sake.
looking forward
no,
to this.
Don't encourage this,
Because
Sarah.
I feel like the other one we could see some of them coming maybe, but this
I
one
don't think
we're
that's a nice thing
So
to
to
say, I don't know
clarify,
if it's fair.
Ted's gonna take some Lady Gaga songs, match them up as a pun with footballers, and make a Lady Gaga 11. That's what you're going for.
Yeah, I'm going to do that, but I don't like the dismissive way in which you speak about quite an art. It's actually quite an art.
What was
It's
the Rory DeLapp
quite
one
an art
last
pop.
week?
that was the best one.
What's the story, Morning Rory DeLapp?
Right, let's do it
I'll
then.
tell you
Come on.
what. Okay, so we'll start. I've got a manager for the team this time.
No
For fuck's
way.
sake.
Yeah, Art Klopp. So in goal, we've got Hold My Handanovic. Then 3 at the back we're going for. So we got... we're going to go 4 at the back, sorry, because it's accidentally got them in the wrong one.
Yeah, he
4 at
does
the back.
formations too.
Yeah, it's got... Well, of course you do formations, otherwise it couldn't play. Right back, Just Danso. Centre backs, Born This Gay. And Bade Romance.
Born This Gay.
And then left back, we've got, that kind of is what the song's about anyway, but Born This Gay and Bade Romance. And then at left back, we've got Abracadabra Bradley.
Oh my God.
Then in midfield, we got 4 in midfield. We've got Disassise, so disease, but with Disasse in the front.
Okay.
So Disaziz, actually is how you meant to pronounce it, Disaziz. Then you've got Paparazzico, bit old, Garden of Eden Hazard.
I like that.
And then Nigel Rio Coca Face is holding that together. And then up front, you've got Pelephone.
Telephone.
That's
a
and
good one.
Shallowing.
Okay, great.
So there you go. With Alejandro Garnacho, I thought was too obvious.
Yeah,
you know, you can't. Put
I
that.
would say if anyone's still listening, then please get in touch with yours. But nobody is still listening, so
No, people
people
will be like, "Wow, that's genuinely quite impressive." And
That's
you
the
did
issue
that
we've got
all at the Gaga concert during. So yeah, my big thing is I'm going to do this for loads of different bands. I've decided because I know you hate it, and that has given me the fire within me. So if you have any bands, send them in. And I'll make them into a pun-based team that Pete can get furious about.
Great.
With managers.
With managers. Yeah, with managers now. That's the other big thing.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, I'm knackered today, which is why
You've got this fake Star Wars drink.
Yeah, fluorescent. I don't know how healthy that is. I'm going to guess not very.
I'll tell you, it's not all. I'll give you that. Yeah.
The colour of it should speak
It's
for itself.
pink. It looks like the dentist, thing that you wash your
Yeah.
mouth
Yeah,
with.
it's like Corsaville
definitely
or
not
something.
swallow.
Yeah, but you know, it's needed today. I'm so tired because I was working yesterday. I mean, I'm not complaining because it was a great afternoon. But Everton versus Crystal Palace. I think everyone's seen the late drama. Jack Grealish scoring his.
Yeah, in fact, let's get the photo on screen of Sarah celebrating Jack Grealish's last-minute goal. What's that in your hand as well, Sarah? Just at the game?
Just something. It looks a bit like a vape.
It looks a bit like a vape, doesn't it? But it can't be, surely.
If it was a vape, I think it would be understandable because it was quite tetchy towards the end there.
Yeah,
You're just having it for emotional support. That's what you're doing.
My
It's just in your
emotional
hand for
support
emotional
vape.
support.
Yeah, exactly. Me and my lost
It's
Mary.
such a great photo, though. It's like
fantastic.
the ultimate passion of football. It's the ultimate last-minute winner, and it's just you absolutely living your best life.
Oh, honestly, I said to you guys before, like I'll have to do a montage of the different clips because I'm fortunate in where I am that I've captured the goals on mobile for the social channels.
Yeah.
Some days are quieter than others, but there's every range of emotion you can think of throughout the years that I've done it, from like absolute disgust to fury to like head in hand, head thrown back in like anger to giving it loads, and it's just brilliant because I can't get away with anything.
Beautiful.
As you have made.
Right, should we do memes this week? See what we found online, what we've
Time for the memes. I'm really excited about doing my one.
Oh, really?
I think mine is the best meme I've had so far.
Yeah.
That's a really high.
I was ready with another meme, and then I came in last minute and changed it to send Lucas the meme that I wanted. It was a last minute thing, right?
Tactical decision.
Now, let me find exactly who this was. It was in America. It was in the MLS. And in the MLS, they've got a ref cam.
They do. We have that in the Prem, though, as well.
Yeah, but they don't sort of seem to show it much, do they?
Only the goals.
Do you know what I
really.
mean?
So
Like maybe the
Yeah.
odd goal or something like that. Now, Rodrigo Schiegel, he
Great
gave
name.
us
Yeah,
an
fantastic.
all-timer on the ref cam. So we've got two different pictures here. We've got the picture of what it looks like on the ref cam, and then we've got the picture of what he was actually doing, okay? So the top one is the picture of him on the ref cam, and the bottom one is him pleading with the ref on his knees. Do you see what I mean when it's an
That
all-timer?
is incredible.
Isn't it beautiful, that?
It's such a dreadful image of a human being.
Because I guess the ref cam is maybe a weird camera that maybe a bit fisheye lens type thing.
Yeah, well, it'll be a GoPro-y type thing,
distorts
won't
the
it?
face slightly. And then you zoom out and it's just him actually just pleading with the ref. It's perfectly normal.
That
It's a
is
normal- God, it really
incredible. And it's just made me think of this. This is what he looks like right now.
But he's on his knees in the thing anyway, which is still a bit odd.
Yeah,
there's a
he's
level
dropped down pleading with the ref,
And
hasn't
also,
he?
because the ref's got his hand, it looks like he's sort of blessing him.
he does,
It's quite,
yeah.
it's quite
Blessing my
religious in a
child.
weird way.
He's like, you know, that blob
Oh,
fish.
it is, yeah, the blob
He's
meme that
like a
comes out
blob
all the
fish.
time.
Oh, he does it like a
It
blobfish.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
He
is,
does.
he's been done dirty there.
Yeah,
I bet he
I
just
know.
wishes he'd just taken the punishment and just.
Yeah, well, the exact shot looks like when they look up to the sky and see they're about to die in a film. Like, they go, oh my god! They just you hear the phew of something. God,
I'm glad you swapped that in.
Yeah,
at the
so
last
that was
minute.
my last little minute swap over.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely
that is
brilliant.
fantastic.
Right, who's going to go next?
Mine's actually about an Everton player.
Okay.
And,
here we go.
It's this. It is
Stealing Sarah's content
I know,
this
that's
week.
my bit. I'm going to wear
I
a
thought
Plymouth
too
shirt
much
next
about-
week.
Feel free. They need more money at the club. So if you want to purchase a couple, that'd be great. Just a gay has already started wearing thermals. Now, I don't think that's on. I think it is too early to wear thermals. I know it's not the warmest in the world, but I think you should, in the way we're talking about, oddly, it's the same as taking your shirt off. You should get booked for putting thermals on.
Okay, yeah, this is an interesting vibe. Yeah.
November.
Pre-November.
I just think if you've got them on now, there's nowhere to go from this as well. You can't put on a woolly jumper or something.
He's gonna
You
be
can't
wearing
put on
a
a
puffer jacket underneath, like-
You can't be wearing the full Wenger on the pitch come December. So
Where's
I
he
think
from?
it's too early.
He's
Gay?
Senegalese, to be
right?
fair.
Senegalese. Now I've had friends that are African, and I meet up with them.
Okay.
No, but like especially that sort of area of Africa.
Yeah.
And I've met up with them in summer, and you go, holy shit, you're wearing a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, so you're defending this.
slightly from a purely.
I'm not trying to. By the way,
I was going to say cultural. It's not cultural. I just
I'm
mean-
not trying to be. I appreciate that Senegal is a lot hotter.
Yeah, he's
than
grown
the
up
UK.
around much warmer weather.
I appreciate that, but I think it's the principle, and also I don't think, and I get you got up around a lot hotter weather. I also don't think it helps the current footballers are all weak and fall over, and when you're actually adding to that image by wearing thermals, and also because he's got two separate pairs, so it's been really planned and thought through. I personally would say November 1st. Do you know what it's like? It's like Christmas songs. Christmas songs, I don't mind hearing initially from November. I know some people disagree with that, but I don't mind early November hearing a couple of Christmas songs. Get a grip, let people enjoy their lives, right? In December, fine, go all ham. So in December, fine, snood it up.
Yeah.
Snood it up in December. Although, are they banned or something?
Yeah, I think they might be. Gloves. What where are you sitting with gloves?
When people in April last year, there were footballers wearing gloves, I got so angry because I know you're doing that as a fashion statement, but it can't be good for you as a player.
You should start the game on a yellow card if you wear gloves in April.
And what happens if you take your gloves off in the match? Because that's also like taking your shirt off, isn't it? That's exposing a body part
Back
that
in the day,
wasn't.
Thierry Henry, long sleeve and gloves, just throws them on the floor.
Scoring a goal and whipping the gloves off and giving it jazz hands like this.
And you get 2 yellows, and you get a yellow for each hand, send it off. Dreadful.
Jazz hands. No, I'll let Garner have that because he's a very tough player.
You wouldn't say that if it was a Liverpool player. You'd be all.
Absolutely not.
Do you know the picture we need? We need him in thermals in October with a bloke in the crowd with his top off. That's what we need. That is the ultimate, isn't
Yes.
it?
100%. But no, he's a tough tackler. He gives it. He's not one of those that throws himself to the floor and that, and like you go, So we'll let him go. We'll let him have that one.
I can't think of
And
any
he's
tough
Senegalese.
tacklers in long johns.
You've just discovered one. Well, we've got no surprises here from me. Actually, some more Everton related memes. So Crystal Palace, obviously, they're doing incredible. They are an incredible team. They'd gone 19 games unbeaten, which I think was a record for
a heck of a result,
It's
this.
amazing that, and they
I'm
had
very
kept
happy for you,
putting.
but I'm a bit gutted as well that you won. I know, just because, also because I like Palace a lot, and I was hoping in my head is like, what a funny team to beat the Invincibles would be Palace. Like, how the hell did that happen? Like, when in the series of statistics, like the only 2 teams ever unbeaten in the Premier League were Arsenal and Crystal Palace out of nowhere.
They're flying though, Palace.
They're
Like they're absolutely flying. The FA Cup and the Community Shield as well.
Yeah,
and
the Eagles.
There we go. So they've been putting their admin has been updating it and then literally putting out updated the bio. So an Everton fan had got on it to start with and quote tweeted it and put update it again, which I thought was brilliant. But then on the back of that, there's been a few. So Everton, well, this one I'll show you first because it's shithousery from an unexpected source, which is Domino's Pizza UK. And I absolutely love this because there's another one that's a bit further down where it says something about what's been around longer or this retro pizza box, or when Arsenal last won a trophy. Oh yeah, there it is. Which is older, this retro pizza box or last time Arsenal won a Premier League title? And then they've quote tweeted also Crystal Palace's one saying, "Don't worry, we've updated the bio."
That's so funny.
They've then quote tweeted that and said, "Updated the bio," and have put in their bio, Crystal Palace
Crystal Palace's losing streak
1. And I just thought, it's a great marketing thing because it gets
catching strays though. Crystal Palace, like, where's the beef with Domino's come from?
This is it, because I thought, is it a Palace thing? But then they've obviously had it at Arsenal as well, and I'm just so here for it because I just think it's hilarious.
This is Domino's new marketing technique.
Yeah.
They're just going, right, who's having a shit time? Let's pile in.
Let's have them.
Why don't they spend all this energy making their pizzas better? I don't understand.
Do you not like Domino's?
I do actually like Domino's, and if Domino's are watching this, I'm very, very open for a brand deal. But I
think you've just lost that.
I've lost
that brand deal. Yeah,
It's coming to me.
I love Domino's pizza
until they come for Everton.
Yeah, and then I'll be
fuming.
like, shite. So I love that, but then Everton's one absolutely made my day. This is the final one because it's all connected.
Sorry, just on the Domino's. Domino's always get involved in football, though, don't they? They've done that for a while. They used to send a truck round Man United, didn't they, Domino's?
Oh, they
being
did.
like,
Yeah, you're
we'll
right,
deliver quicker than Man U, we'll deliver something. They'll have that. And then it's like days since Man United won a game they had at one point. They had like a big... So I'm actually... Domino's...
They just pile on for the sake of it, basically.
That's it, but it's good marketing, and it's a
funny.
little bit light-hearted and funny, and I'm here for it. But this one I love. So this is Everton's actual admin, and I think I know who it was who put this, which just makes it brilliant. And it is Jack Grealish, by the way, the best player of the match picture I think I've ever seen. Look at his little face.
That grin.
Oh, he's just such a nice fella, honestly. And Everton updated the bio and have put Grealish for England with the picture, and I just thought that was top class. Because
I think you're in dangerous territory, by the way, Sarah. You know what they say: never fall in love with a lone player.
I know.
And you are in trouble. There are love hearts in your eyes every time Jack Grealish comes anywhere near that screen.
But it is
swear.
good to see him enjoying his football again.
I know, and everyone's enjoying watching him enjoy his football.
Yeah.
It's great, but I think you are. It's the number one rule in football, isn't it? Don't fall in love with a lone player.
It's so
and
true.
You are head first,
head over heels, and that's coming from a very gay girl as well. Before everyone's like, "Oh, the girls like him."
Grealish's long hair is, it's confusing for all of us.
Grealish is for everyone. Grealish is for everyone. He's just such a nice guy, I think, as well. That
he seems lush. Just
he's
an
lovely.
awesome bloke.
And he's been, he gets kicked to bits every game. It's hard for him to influence a game because he's got 3 players on him, but he still does. And then his thing after the game as well, because it was a lucky goal for him. Obviously, Beto's headed it down. Yeah. Their defender goes to clear it and literally just kicks it against his leg, and it goes in. But he put on his Instagram saying, "What a first touch finish that was." He's just a likeable guy. So yeah, those were mine for this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's class Grealish. Will he get back in the England setup, do you think? I mean, Bellingham's been dropped.
I think he's got to.
It seems to be a weird thing that Tuchel's doing where he's like, I'm just going to stick with this team for a bit. Like when he was asked about the Bellingham thing, he goes, yeah, but what if he's not fit during the next big tournament? We need to know that someone else can come in there. And you kind of go, I can sort of see that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
it doesn't need it's not like Bellingham needs bedding into the England team. Yeah. He's played for England in big tournaments. He's fine. Yeah. It's kind of giving someone else that exposure in the big games and going, let's give him a little bit of a go. Yeah.
Who was the bloke who kept banging on about Adam Wharton and saying that's the only person we need this week in the press conference with him? I don't know, but I quite love it when people... One of my favourite things about England selections is how tribal everyone gets about their lads not being picked. Or I remember during the Euros last year, there was such a great bit where they were saying, what's the problem with the team at the moment? Why is it not clicking? Yeah. And there's a woman out of nowhere had just posted saying the problem is we're not playing Lewis Dunk enough. And you could say a lot of things about England's tournament that year, but you could not say Lewis Dunk was the solution to our lack of creativity up front.
Funny.
So obviously Lewis Dunk's mum gone online and posted on BBC Sport.
I will say, I'm no Crystal Palace fan. Wharton fills the gap England need. I mean, let's not get into it too much, but that is the one out of everyone where I kind of go, all right, give other people a little go, but there isn't anyone that sort of fills that Wharton hole very well, so maybe just put him in the team, I don't know.
Just give it a go, and that's it, and he has been fantastic.
Well, that's the means for this week. If you have any opinions on whether it's too early to wear leg warmers, by the way, please do get in touch, because it absolutely is.
What are your months? What are your months for thermals?
No, it's November till February, really. I'll give you a bit of March, but that's it. Oscars is normally the first weekend of March. by the Oscars, you got to have them off. So if you send them in and get in touch, as we say, send the memes into @knockaboutpod or our email hello@knockaboutpod.com.
And it's time for the big debate. And I don't actually know if we've settled on what, because there's so many topics and things we can discuss this week.
Should we go with, because I was sort of thinking about the game that made me fall in love with football this week. And I feel like we should do this for the big debate, or at least talk about, can one game make you fall in love with football?
I think two have to, because I think the first game, even if the first game's brilliant, if the second one is dreadful, you're like, oh, well, never mind. We've all started watching a TV show, episode 1, you're like, oh, this is quite good. And then episode 2, you're like, it's lost me. I'm not doing anything.
So if there was a game that made you fall in love with football, I don't think it would ever be the first game you see or go to. So I was a United fan from a young age, and then 98-99 season happened, obviously the treble. Champions League final would be, for me, the game that made me fall in love with football, and it was that game. I literally remember it sort of viscerally. Do you know what I mean? I remember that feeling of being there. I remember we just moved house, and the telly was on the floor. We didn't have the telly on a box or anything. Now, in my mind, the telly's a black and white telly. I know it wasn't, but for some reason, it's in my mind there, right? And we didn't have a remote for it, so it was a telly that you turned on and off there.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous in that game, obviously, United losing till right at the end. I was lying on the floor in front of the telly, turning it off and turning it back on to see if the score had changed, because I couldn't watch the game. Right. And then we make it to 1-1.
It's funny at that time you thought that would work, turning the TV off and on again. We'll turn the team off and on again.
Someone had told me to turn it off and on.
And this from the man who says he's not superstitious.
I was just trying to fix the game. That's all it was, guys. And then I remember we went to 1-1, and I left the telly on and watched it, and watched that final moments of scoring in the final minute, well, the extra time basically of the Champions League final. And from then on,
how old were you? Sorry,
I'd have been 11.
Yeah,
wow. Just
good age for that. Yeah.
Completely hooked.
Yeah,
totally. And then I remember before that I was getting into football quite a lot. 1998 World Cup, I remember, was quite a big thing. And
World Cups usually are.
I remember we got knocked out. We went to school, and a lad at my school went, "What's all the fuss about? There'll be another one next year." And I'm being like, "No, it's 4 years, you dickhead." Yeah.
And at that point in your life, that's pretty much half your life away, of what you've lived.
But that game for me just made me head over heels in love with football. Yeah, in love with United, in love with Fergie and that whole team, that generation of that team.
I love the thought as well. There'll be so many people who have that exact game and their memories of how they watched that game, like you did on the black and white telly with the button. So anyone else, any Man United fans, to cheer you up, although you did win on the weekend, but let us know where you watched that game if you remember it and stuff. But that is, you peaked so soon, 11 and getting to see your team win a Champions League.
And then winning the league was just the norm for years after that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was just we won the league, that's fine.
It's a good question, that, because my experience is very different to yours, in the sense that obviously Everton's not been without tribulations, as we've spoken about before and seen, and been at times very funny. Yeah. But you guys have consistently been Premier League. You've never had a relegation. Yeah. You've never experienced that. My first full season following football, I'd done it before, was the 2008-9 season, and I'd obviously gone to games before and I'd followed it, but I'd always been a bit of I'd always been a bit in and out. So I remember the Halmosi years, 2007-8. We beat Hull away 3-2. First time I ever had a battered sausage as well. What a day.
Great.
So that really made me fall in love. And I got really into it. But I remember missing a goal when we played Preston at home that year. But then in 2008-9, I got really into it. And that year, we just stayed up. We stayed up by a point, and that was really exciting.
That's funny, that as well, actually, because you're sort of 10 years younger than me, and that's 10 years on from mine. Yeah. So that age must be really formative in falling in love with football. Yeah. 10, 11 years old, so really getting into it.
But that was also the year, and this is why I don't think a game can do it necessarily. That was the year I fell in love with football more generally. I know everything about the 2008-9 Premier League season, everything. It's that and Johnny English Reborn are my my mastermind topics. I know everything about that season. So I sort of fell in love with the the world of it as well. Like I fell in love with reading about it and everything. And it wasn't just a game. I'm not saying that you can't from a game because but I remember like Robinho signed for 32.5 million that year at the start of the year. And I remember that was the most amount of money I'd ever heard of. And like, there was something, and I know we don't love money in football, but there was something about bloody hell.
It felt a little bit like, there's something new happening. I can imagine for the neutral fan, it hadn't got obscene yet. It hadn't become like this ridiculous oil money sort of fantasy thing that it's become now.
That was the first one, really, wasn't it?
It was, and it was like one team's gone. It's like, obviously as a United fan, it wasn't, but I could imagine as neutral fans going, something new's a bit happening. And I remember when City signed Robinho, and then like all the rest of their players who'd been playing for them for years started doing stepovers and Croydon and you're like, hang on, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, watching
like
Stephen Ireland trying to...
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Martin Johnson trying to do Rabonas. I mean, that season I think about a lot in terms of like, I remember your Everton team off by heart that year because you had Tim Howard in goal, obviously, Tony Hibbert right back, one of the first match attacks I ever had, Arteta in midfield, and there was something about the glamour of these players at that time when it wasn't
Tony
like
Hibbert glamorous. I love that so much.
I can't explain it, but there was like a glamour to the fact they were kind of like blokes. Whereas there's a level now. I'm amazed, not amazed that people fall in love with football now, really, but there's just it has lost a bit, even in these 15 years. Sports science has come on so far that there's not a player nowadays that looks like Andy Griffith.
Well, there's not enough bald players.
There's not enough bald players.
There's no blokes who are 28 and look 43.
Yeah, and also if they are, they tend to be foreign, like sort of bulky strikers.
Yeah.
They're not like what you had in that day where you had these absolute meathead centre-backs who were not technically gifted, but were bloody hell that injure your opposition centre forward. It's great.
Yeah. Throw back to those.
Have you got a single game that made you fall in love with it that stands out at quite a young age?
See, I actually think, I know you said it's not necessarily the first game you go to, but for me, it was really.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it at Goodison?
It was.
See, I think that's different because mine was on telly and that, and I had been to watch United before, and it was great, but I think it wasn't that. But Goodison had that feel to it. It was different, wasn't it?
Oh man, exactly that, and like I think because my dad and his brothers and massive Evertonians, and they went home and away with them back in like the 70s, the 80s, when like football hooliganism and stuff was bad. Like they used to have to be really like careful because it was those days, and with them being Scouts, it was scary apparently sometimes, but they also loved it. They'd seen us win like the FA Cups, they'd seen us win league titles, the European Cup Winners' Cup, and my dad and my uncles would tell me stories about these footballers and about Goodison. It was like when you get read a bedtime story when you're a kid, and it's like this magical thing. And he would talk about, Alan Ball and then like Brian the Bones, but then Graham Sharp, Andy Gray even, and all these different players, Sheedy and so on and so forth, Reedy. And I was it got me. I thought it was like magic, Everton. So when I went there and saw the place in the flesh that I'd been told about and seen photographs and old like videotapes of and stuff, it was like, oh my God. And it was that thing of like, you go up the steps and you see it, and I was really like overwhelmed by it. We were the top of the Gladys Street, Upper Gladys, and we beat it was Watford. We beat Watford 4-2, and I just absolutely loved it. Treated to 4 goals from I think Mark Hughes was playing for us that day actually. So that really got me. I didn't know what I was in for at that point. Of course, didn't know.
Lifelong subscription. It's
trust me,
you can't get out, can you?
I was only how old I would have been then. Like I was a baby, and it aged me probably a decade in about 3 years. But no, I loved it, and that'll always stick in my memory.
Peter Reid's another reason I fell massively in love with Argyle. So Peter Reid was Argyle manager 2010-11. We just got relegated to League One, and this was when things went really bad at the club. So that's another memory I really have, was my dad lifting me up when we beat Southampton 1-0 away at on the first day of the season, and we couldn't get into any pubs for they said no away fans, home fans only. And I remember my mate in quite a thick Jano accent being like, "We love Matt Le Tissier, eh? No, we love him, he's brilliant." And he lifted me up. But Peter Reid was our manager. We were like, "This is going to go brilliant." And at the time, Southampton didn't have they weren't allowed a club photographer because they were in dispute with the local papers. They didn't allow anyone to take photos. So it was all drawings. They had drawings in the past. I wonder if I can find them. It's like there was a picture of David Button who played his first and only good game for us that day, and he made a save. And there's this bizarre drawing that a guy in the game, like a courtroom artist. I remember.
This is nuts.
But Peter Reid, then so that season we went into administration. Got docked 15 points. It was a disaster. Stapleton run the club into the ground. It was really bad. And Peter Ridsdale came in and got involved, which is never a good sign for a football club. And I hate Peter Ridsdale. But Peter Reid sold his Everton medals to keep the club going. He paid himself for the electricity at the ground because he turned up to the ground and they'd locked it. And Peter Reid went, well, I'll pay for it anyway. So
I didn't know that. It's
amazing man. And so I was 13 at the time, and I loved it. And I wrote Peter Reid a letter. I wrote him a letter to say thank you for everything. I think you're an amazing man. A lot of crap, like a lot of people give me a lot of stick actually because I support Plymouth Argyle, but actually I prefer to do it than to support Chelsea actually. Like that. And I remember when you spilled some tea on your hand at this game. He spilled some tea on his hand away at Shrewsbury. And I sent him this letter saying thank you. And then I on the back gave my team suggestion for how we should play against Southampton, which was the next game I'll be able to go to.
Your GaGa 11 you put on the back.
I did start doing Gargoyle actually to myself, see what I could do with it. And I sent it to him, and he went and he replied.
Oh,
and
I love that.
And I had a letter from Peter Reid. It was a lovely sign. It typed it up, so maybe it's ugly, but it typed it up, and it meant the world to me. That letter, Peter Reid was so lovely. And then cut to last year, 2024 January. Peter Reid's doing a talk at Argyle. So my dad and I, we go down the night before. We have some of Plymouth Argyle's cuisine watching this. And by the way, one thing I will say about men over 60 is they do not know how to turn their phones onto silent. They're a generation of nothing but vibrate and the classic ringtones. Anyway, and Peter Reid and I got to meet Peter Reid. And I got a photo with him, and I was very emotional. I said I sent you a letter and you sent a reply to me, and thank you. And I said, look, you didn't actually pick my team that day and we lost 3-0 and we got relegated. To this day, if he'd put Larry in goal and everything, and he said laughed. And anyway, so that's so Peter Reid is always going to be.
Just before we move on, talking about first games you go to and that sort of thing. My dad took me to Blackburn Chelsea was the first game I actually went to because he could get tickets for that. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those where there was a bloke at work who could get tickets, so we didn't go to United. We went to Blackburn Chelsea, and I remember we're leaving to go to the game. And my granddad said on the way out, it was the years that Shearer was playing for Blackburn, scoring just tons of goals. On the way out the door, my granddad goes, I bet you Alan Shearer scores for Blackburn today. And I had no idea who Alan Shearer was or what he was doing at the time. Of course he scored. So from then on, I thought my granddad was the most amazing, mystical man that has ever lived. It's like going to watch Bayern Munich this season and your granddad going, but Harry scores. Harry Kane scores something today.
I absolutely love that.
That's a beautiful story about Peter Reid, though. I think that's gorgeous.
That's the last thing I was saying, because I was just on the topic of people saying something. One of the more emotional days for my dad was, Peter was Argyle when my granddad died, and my dad went to the game that day. And obviously there was a little tribute to, in the way of these things, on the big screen. Someone said there was something in the programme. And on the way in, this guy said to my dad, he was like, well, look, I hope they score 6 for your dad today. And we won 6-0 that day. Completely true story. I always think that's absolute mad serendipity. But my dad went to that game and we won either 6-0 or 6-1. I'm trying to remember. But we scored 6.
Amazing.
That day. Isn't that mad?
That's is beautiful.
That's a bit better than the Shearer prediction.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Just in terms of putting money on something.
Really shat on my...
sorry, mate. Sorry,
that got me...
Man, isn't it?
I mean, it wasn't our usual big debate. There wasn't as much conflict as we usually have.
We agreed generally that football was quite good and we all quite liked it.
We'll come together for a little cuddle in the break.
I was going to say that's a come by our. Sorry, mate.
Actually, you need 5 games, you fucking idiot. I have 5 games to fall in love and that's it. And you can't fall in love via the telly. That's insane. Right.
Right. Half time. Let's have a little break. I'm going to go and dab my eyes in the toilet. Usual Bovril stuff on the way. We'll be back in the next section with more from the Knockabout podcast. Welcome back to the second half of the Knockabout podcast.
And we know what time that is, lads. It is time to raise a toast.
Thank God I've been absolutely parched over it.
I know my pink acid juice is off.
Yeah, I noticed you haven't got through a lot of it. Is that because it's horrible and looks like Kirby's cum?
It does look... It looks like battery acid. It genuinely does.
Yeah, no, I know.
And my insides are slowly burning, so I've gone easy on that. I've got a suggestion for this week, which is quite simply shithousery.
There is not enough shithousery in football anymore. Whenever I see it, I think it needs to be applauded.
It does, and there's been a few things I've seen this week, but my favourite, Chloe Kelly, obviously now is well known after the England success, but she played. There's a drama last season. She left Manchester City, ended up joining Arsenal because she was in a bad place with it. There was a lot of stuff, so there's a bit of a thing. I think she got a bit of a bad reception as well, which was a shame. So she ended up scoring to level it for Arsenal really late in the game, scored a great goal, but then City did win. A few, scored not long after that. And after the game, a Man City fan page had put, "What's the score, Chloe?" And you never, often people just don't reply to these things. And Chloe simply replied with this, and I just absolutely loved it. It's her laying in the confetti next to the Champions League trophy with the medal around her neck. And I just thought, I have so much time for that because she's the sweetest person in the world, but she is a shithouse, and she's all for a bit of shithousery.
As well, I just love footballers being real on social media.
Yeah, man.
Like, if one of your mates said that sort of thing, you'd go straight back with something to just shut them the fuck up, wouldn't you? You'd be like, there you go, shut up, nice one. So why not do it to dickheads on social media?
Madison's quite good on that as well.
He is.
Often Madison will give it and take it.
Madison's doing his own socials because he writes in text talk, like
you
are, and all this sort of stuff.
He posted something like that. Do you know what I've really enjoyed this year for the first time? And I feel this year's been a step up, but is players criticising the referee openly after the game on social media. There's been a few where it's like, this is insane. I don't understand this was, and I'm really pro it.
I think players' wages have gone up a lot.
They can do
it. And the fine they get for slagging the referee hasn't increased with inflation. I think that has stayed the same, and they're earning 10 times the money. I think if you want to stop players slagging the ref, you've got to increase that fine again.
Because I'm all for, because what I find very frustrating about the whole referee, because on shithousery, I'll come back to this because I do completely agree with that. But on referee stuff, I find so frustrating how there's all this like be kind attitude towards referees, and rightly so. Like, obviously you shouldn't just have like people going to their cars and yelling at them and everything. But what is frustrating is that there is very little. You don't get fired for being crap at being a ref. Often you don't get moved off games. So quite a lot of the time, like in your job, I mean, I, as someone that has been let go from several positions in various different absolute kryptonite for small business is me. But like that all, you get that, but you get a sort of.
I heard a phone in the other day where they were saying German and Italian refs will often come out and say, "I got that one wrong. I'm sorry." Yeah. And I kind of go, I'd like a bit of that.
But that gives more authority to them. Yeah. This is the thing. If more refs were like, look, I personally made an error, because it's the PGMOL that will say something on their behalf. Yeah. If the ref actually had the Mr. Testicles to go, I got that wrong. It's a really tough job, because being a ref is really hard.
I want to do it.
It's an impossibly hard job in a lot of ways. You've got 60,000 people telling you you're a twat. If you just go, look, sorry, it's a really tough, high-pressure thing, and this is why VAR hasn't helped anything, is that it has meant that now there's another person who could bail you out. So if you get it wrong twice, basically, is what's happening now. Whereas without VAR, you could just be like, human error, I've absolutely ballsed it, sorry, boys. And you'd sort of move on.
What I will say is what we're asking, both with this and with Chloe Kelly's thing, is for people to be more human. Footballers, people in the game, be more human. We will respect it so much more. She's coming back and going, look at that, I won the Champions League. Refs coming out if they're going, I got it wrong, I'm sorry, I'm a human. I think it would give everyone just a better picture of it all.
The reason that Victor Wanyama is the greatest footballer ever to live is that he's the most human man ever, because he just posted once on Twitter, "I spaghetti and it was very nice. I liked it." And that
the
is
greatest tweet of all time.
You are a footballer.
Yeah.
More tweets like that is what we need.
And I like shithousery, though, to get back to your point. You're right, because there's something great about Martinez. There's something great about characters like that who have that level of, you'd be so fucked off, but you'd love it if it was for you.
This is it. I get angry sometimes when I see the opposite. I'm like, you dick. But I'm inside kind of going, I rate it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. I think at the time in the game, you can get. I get so into it and so pissed off about certain things, but after the game, it's like, respect it, and that's it.
Let's raise a toast to her. Chloe Kelly.
So. Chloe Kelly,
Beautiful.
And a Champions League and a shithousery.
Cracking.
I remember when David Luiz winked at the camera. Do you remember that? When he got fouled, he went, "No, that is shit."
That's beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah, he was a
that.
good shithouse, actually.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
now playing for the Crete Division champions, Paphos. I saw him in the Champions League. There you go.
Either he loves football or he's gone through a divorce. I don't know which one, but he's having a good
He'll
time.
be playing until he's like 60, won't he?
Yeah, defo. Right, should we have a little look at where our reporter's been this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who do you think is the best player in the league?
Rashford. No, I'm joking. I do like De Bruyne. He's mustard when he's on it. I had to put a bit of leeway in it because I don't like Liverpool.
Rodri, bro. He is an all-round midfielder. He reminds me of a mixture of Scholes and Roy Keane.
After last season, Odegaard, chuck him in there.
Saka.
Obviously,
Haaland, easy. Probably Haaland. Yeah, it's got to be Haaland, isn't it?
It's got to be Ireland. It's got to be the Norwegian beast. Never seen anything like it.
It's impressive, isn't it? I mean, what am I going to say to that?
Norwegian beast.
Haaland, obviously. Goal machine, mate.
Is that actually a question?
Well, it's Haaland, isn't it?
Oh, Palmer. What do you reckon, Palmer?
Kobe Mainoo. Kobe Mainoo.
Wow.
Just say Kobe Mainoo, bro. Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah, well, he
must
said
be
the
quite
FA.
old.
It looks like it's the FA. It's the FA Cup final.
So first of all, that's at the FA Cup final. There are far too many United fans picking City players.
Yeah.
But secondly, that bloke, I'm guessing he's from London.
Yeah.
Who did he pick?
Norwegian beast.
Yeah, Norwegian beast, mate. Sounds like he's trying to sell you
Yeah,
Haaland.
that sounds like it sounds like the Norwegian
But
beast is like.
a shit version. Like,
Mate, you've seen Haaland?
Yeah.
Fucking 500 million. I've got one for £3 in the back of it. I'll give you him no
cool,
problem.
He said it like a gangster who's got like, if you're not careful, we'll send the Norwegian beast round. He'll sort you out.
defo.
So the best player in the league? Who do we think it is? I mean, I love questions like this because the truth is, I don't know because I'm not very good at football. I think about this a lot.
There also isn't. There isn't
No.
one standout player in the league
There are
right
lots
now.
of excellent
Do you know what I mean?
players, yeah.
There really isn't a player, who is going season on season, who is that established. And often you'd be looking for a midfielder. It's sort of historically.
It's
Do you
been
know
De
what I mean?
Bruyne, hasn't it? I think for
Yeah.
a long time.
Bruyne-
Obviously, he's no longer in this league, which is a shame. I think not obviously for, but
Yeah.
I don't have too much bad blood with City because they've stopped Liverpool winning a lot of titles. So, I think everyone can appreciate what an just all-round top-class footballer he's
Although
been.
I do think his robotic nature, I know he gets called the robot, does hold him back from people going, yeah, you're fucking amazing. He rarely pulls off a phenomenal bit of skill. He rarely scores a 30-yard screamer. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those
He
where
scored
his numbers are phenomenal, but he doesn't do the bits that make you go, God, this guy's brilliant.
It's more like the precision passing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like if
Yeah.
he's not
Absolutely.
playing, you
Yeah.
notice like
He's very Gillette football. I feel that like there's a thing where like, because Salah is who I'd say is for the past few years has been the best player in the Premier League. Just he's consistently
Yeah.
that. But this season, obviously, whatever.
He's having a
but
bad
that.
season, but
but
he's-
De Bruyne is the one that everyone always bangs on about, and he is great. I'm sure. And again, they're much better than me.
I mean, he also doesn't play in the Premier League.
He doesn't play in the Premier League
anymore,
anymore. But De Bruyne was a very funny case of this sort of exact what I was saying when I was talking before about the 2008-9 sort of seasons. The difference between your Kevin De Bruyne and your Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Just in terms of character.
Yeah.
Like Scholes had a bit of like, God, who the hell's this bloke? You know, there was like,
so funny.
He had a bit of a meanness to it. There was a
Yeah.
cruelty to him.
Terrible tackler.
Terrible
Yeah.
tackler.
Yeah.
Looked like,
I'm all for that though. I love a terrible.
often looked like he'd had a half at just before the
Yeah.
game, you know.
Do you know what it is with Haaland as well? Thinking back of the people that you would consistently say is the best player in the Premier League, is people who beat a man. Haaland runs past people, runs around people, and finally gets to the ball. He rarely takes someone on. You know, like Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
In his absolute pomp, you would go, he's the best player in our league. Rooney used to run at people with the ball and take them on and then score a massive screamer from 30 yards or whatever. Haaland doesn't do that. His numbers are phenomenal, but he doesn't do those bits that make you bring him to mind and go, he is the best player.
Yeah. And I know what you're saying, or even like old school Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah,
like when
absolutely.
where you just like watch him and you go, my
those bits
God,
about
wow.
Bale when Bale was at his best,
Oh.
he would run past players and take players on and skin them. Haaland doesn't do that. And I
Salah
think
does a
that's
bit of
why-
that. He's lost
that's
a
what
bit
I
of
mean.
his pace.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Salah, you know, because he cuts inside often, doesn't he? I know I'm picking up the Liverpool man, so I'm sorry. But
I'll take it.
He
I know
cuts
he's a
inside,
great
and
footballer.
Grealish was a bit like that for
Yeah,
a bit as well. Grealish had that, and it's great to see him enjoying his football
coming
again.
back
But
a bit as well.
But I think
Do you
it's
know what?
because
It's a
the
man-
sideways passing thing, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
it's about the perfect. I know, like I think it's a bit overhyped sometimes because I do think football is still at incredible quality. But there is that thing of passing around the perfect goal. Fulham are the worst for that. But you know,
I also think Haaland, you would never be 2-0 down and say Haaland is going to win it for us on his own.
No.
Whereas a Grealish, a Salah, a Bale,
Palmer.
A Palmer, you go, this man can come on and win the game for us on his own.
100%.
And I think they are the ones that often stick out as the ultimate player of that season.
Such a good point. It is, because you like you said, you're watching them and it's as if you can see them going, right, I'm going to grab this game by the scruff of it.
He doesn't do that, does he? He doesn't run to the ball.
He'll put the ball away.
Yeah.
He's a great finisher.
Absolutely.
He's
phenomenal.
I wouldn't say no to having the Norwegian. What is
We got Lauren Tolley up front, who I love. And here's a question for you then. Right, most skillful player at your club currently, and most skillful player of all time for your club.
I mean, currently, I guess I would have to go for Bruno. Bruno Fernandes does it a bit. I'm trying to think. We haven't really got anyone that I would really sort of go for that. And then skillful player of all time. I don't like to tell people about out of my era, because I always think that looks like you're being like an absolute nerd when you didn't watch them. You know what I mean? George Best, obviously, but I never sat there and watched him.
The early seasons.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, all right, mate, you've not fucking seen it. Back off. So I'm going to go for Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously. Yeah.
I think that's very fair. Yours, Evan?
Currently, I actually think skillful. It's between Grealish and this guy, but I'd probably say Iliman and Dye. I think he's just outrageous to watch. His like close ball control and like his finishes and stuff. She's
just trying not to say Grealish again. That's what she's trying to do.
It's Jack Grealish. No, I actually think it's close, but they are different. But I think he's a wonder to watch. He's so exciting to watch, Iliman and Dye. So we're lucky with those at the moment. He's throwing Kieran Dewsbury all as well, but Iliman and Dye I'm going to go for. And of the past, we had a player, Stephen Pienaar, even Mikel Arteta in his day, you know. Again, like you, before we go way back and like your Alan Balls and stuff like that. I'm going to go probably, Arteta and Pienaar for me.
South African Stephen Pienaar. And wasn't he injured for the 2010 World Cup? He couldn't actually play in it. I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I seem to remember he couldn't play in it. You won't know anyone.
Come on, let's have Ted's big name hitters.
Watch this go viral. At the moment, I genuinely think coming into his own as the most skillful is a young kid, 17, called Tegan Finn, who just nutmegs people. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. He nutmegged a couple of people at Burton. Maybe I'm saying this a bit too prematurely because I just think he's really good. Tolai is also incredibly skillful. Of all time, the best player I've ever seen play for Plymouth Argyle is either Paul Gallagher, who was briefly at Blackburn, or Bradley Wright Phillips.
Bradley Wright Phillips of Sean
played a full season for us, but over 2 half seasons. And he scored like genuinely 40 goals in 30 games or something. Right. Unbelievable. Then we went into administration under Reed, and we had to sell him, so we sell him for cut price, and then he became the highest scorer in the history of the MLS. Is Bradley Wright Phillips. So I would say he scored a bicycle kick against Bournemouth, and I remember being like, this guy is unbelievable.
There's nothing but a bicycle kick as well in it.
He's one of the few English players that's gone out and had a proper career in the MLS.
Yeah, he just moved out there because it was New York Red Bulls he went to, didn't it? And that is mad because not many. I guess Beckham kind of, because Beckham went out in a weird time. He was like 28 or something, so it wasn't quite past his prime, but it was a bit early than you'd say was the sort of
definitely
Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard retirement tour.
100%. That, those are still got some of your best years.
I have a theory with Beckham where no one wanted him.
Yeah,
no one of the level that he wanted to be at. He'd played at United, he'd played at Real Madrid. He would have had to drop down slightly, I think, to be a first-team player somewhere. Wanted to be the main man, so went out to America.
Do you think? I don't know. I think he could have easily got into a top Italian team. Well, he did eventually. AC Milan off the bench. That's a great theory.
David, if you're listening, we'd have had you at
We'd have you now at Argyle. I mean, you wouldn't. That's a great one. I mean, Manus.
Right, should we do your shout?
Yeah. So. Thanks for sending these in. We really enjoy them. So this is your shout. Every week we get someone to send in the dilemma, the query, the problems, and we, in our mastermind, intelligent...
Why people ask us is beyond us, to be honest with you.
And actually, this bloke has clearly run out of options. And this is clearly the sort of question that's so boring to ask your friends that you're like, you know what, I know who I'll send it over
Andy
with.
T, thanks for your question. Can I just say, because Ted's slagging you off already, come on.
It's because I think what he's chatting about's bizarre. Andy T, thank you for this. And I've lost you. Andy! Here we go. Andy T says, so this is for this week. This is Andy T. This is your dilemma, and we'll see what we can think about it. Hi, Pete and the guys. interesting.
Hey, come on, Pete's pod.
I guess you feel like the host more maybe than us.
'Cause he's
we're on
got
a
his
sofa,
own
you've got a
chair.
Yeah, it's because you're my guest on the podcast, so that makes sense.
You've got the Graham Norton chair,
Yeah.
and we've been sort of
The white wine on the go.
Yeah.
Hi guys, yeah, thanks for
Pint-
joining me
pint of
today.
wine.
I go
Yeah.
home every time after this, and my neck's in bits because
Yeah.
I'm having to go
Yeah,
like this all the time.
You have the hardest shift of all of us, actually.
Luke's
I
like,
think.
"Oh,
And I
your-
just get to look over at
your
you
levels,
guys.
Sarah, your levels are a bit off," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm having to turn my head like this
Yeah.
every 2 minutes."
And also,
mate.
we have a problem you'll never have to deal with in the hot host chair, which is that we have this slippy sofa.
Yeah, and then we're getting
and we're
bollocks
getting
for
bollocked
this.
as well. So anyway,
Right, Andy T, I'm a fan of you already. Let's go,
So
mate.
Andy T has said, "Hi Pete and the guys. Hi Ted and Sarah. I now live 5 minutes from Bristol Rovers ground, the Memorial
Okay.
ground, and I've really enjoyed going. But I've always been a Man United fan. They were the team I grew up with, and they are still my team. However, I've really enjoyed being part of the atmosphere at Rovers, and I go quite a lot. So my question for you guys is this. I'm beginning to love them as much. Can you naturally change clubs?"
Change clubs. I
All
would
right.
say a hard no.
I would say change comes a little bit there as well, because you're right, because you can't. I don't think you can completely change. So you can't rewire that bit of your
Mate,
brain.
if you could do that, there would be no Evertonians
Yeah.
because it's hard sometimes.
If you, get,
can't do
all right,
it.
I think the easy way for him to see it is if you get offered tickets to both one Saturday, which one are you taking?
Yeah.
Great question. Because Bristol Rovers is quite a nice, fun club. Because they're always in that sort of League One, League Two merry-go-round.
Yeah.
You're having promotions every now and then and relegations. You have quite a good turnover of managers and players. You had Joey Barton for a bit, so I don't know what time you started falling in love with this club. But stuff like that. There's a weird
I would say this is actually all right. I would say because people's lives move on. You shouldn't be expected to keep your life in one static position if your life in another area has moved on. This guy's obviously a football fan. He should be able to go and watch football. Like,
Yes, this is where
definitely go and
I
watch
agree.
them.
But do you think, but that doesn't supersede United, surely? Rovers still, because Bristol Rovers will then be a team that he goes to.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, I'm having a good time at the ground here.
Yeah.
Andy, I knew a couple of people called
Yeah,
Andy. in
Andy,
Bristol.
you're allowed to enjoy. Sorry to tell you what to do with your life, mate, but
Yeah.
you're allowed to enjoy going to the football at Bristol Rovers, but you can't truly support them.
Yes.
You're like you're not allowed to do limbs if they score last minute. You've got to
Yeah.
stand there while everyone else is going
yeah.
fucking mental. You've got to stand there with your bovril and go, "Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'm a United fan actually
Yeah, you
myself."
can't. You can only join in with select chants.
Yeah,
you don't have a
absolutely,
paid subscription,
yeah.
Spotify
So
Premium.
I-
Rovers
so-
till I die, whatever
Yeah.
they sing. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
having
you
none
can't
of
be
that.
doing that. Yeah,
Yeah, you
It's
can sing a player's
100%.
name, obviously, you can get on board with that. But also because I think Rovers, because I think this is the thing, like the atmosphere there will be much more fun and
Yeah.
it's got a fucking wedding tent for one of the stands.
Oh,
but they'll
God.
all enjoy that and you get involved with that. But you're right, because you can't fully love it the way you love your first club. I do think though, because
You will always feel like a fake inside a little
Yeah.
bit. If you ever started singing Rovers Till I Die, something in your stomach would be looking
Return.
around going, "This isn't actually
I
me,
don't
this."
have the right to sing this.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
will say, it's like what you said about you can't be expected to be static. It's like if, for example, I moved, I'm thinking like abroad or something, I don't know. Because I think as long as I lived in the UK, I would still go and see Everton no matter where it was. If I lived abroad and let's say Australia, and I'd go and watch, I don't know, Sydney FC or something.
I've got a
'cause
good
that's
rugby
close
league
to
club
me.
you could go and check out.
I probably would do that instead, actually. But say I
Come
went
on,
and
you
watched
Eels.
Sydney FC, then, I wouldn't say, oh, yeah, like, I used to be Everton, but now I'm Sydney.
Yeah,
come here.
yeah, totally.
I'd probably just go and watch and enjoy, like, even if they lost.
I've actually got a bit of this going on because I used to go and watch Carlisle United, my granddad,
Yeah.
quite a lot as a kid when I was already a United fan. And still, me and my mates will go at Christmas, we'll go and watch Carlisle. Right?
Yeah, nice.
And you feel like you support them, you want them to win, but ultimately, like, I used to come home from those games,
Yeah.
and my mum would be like, "How was it?" And I'd be like, "It was fucking brilliant." Not
Yeah.
to my mum, obviously. 12
Yeah,
years old.
Yeah,
It's
ma,
Southern
it
as
was
well.
fucking
It was
class. When it, get the gear in, ma.
Bags and slags. What's the deal?
Not to as a southerner, but
There's
you
the
have
name
given
for
a
the
very
pod.
funny. You're playing into the stereotype of the north.
Right, I wasn't
for
like
us.
that.
Yeah.
My mum
Brilliant.
we'd go and watch Carlisle, and my mum would be like, "How was it?" And I'd be like, "It was brilliant." And she'd be like, "Oh, did you win?" And I'd be like, "No, they lost 4-0, but I saw loads of goals." Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Exactly.
And then I was still able to enjoy the football rather than it didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? And I was a kid, I loved seeing goals either way. But I think that is how you're going to have to view this, Andy.
Because it's like, on what you're saying about it being the football, it's like if you have lost, if Everton have lost, but it's a really, really entertaining game and everyone goes, a Merseyside derby's a classic, and they'll go, but what an incredible game. What a great football game it's been. It's had everything. But we've lost, and someone will go, yeah, but it was a good game though. And I'm like, it was a shit game. We lost. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's none of that. Whereas
that's how you feel when you support your team.
Exactly.
Because I have the exact same thing slightly with Fulham now, which is that because they don't often play at the same time as Argyle, and I've got mates who have season tickets, I'll go, and I've got kind of into Fulham. Like, I now have opinions on players.
Fulham suits you, Dave.
I don't deny it.
We know that. We know that.
Come on,
the pheasant pie, the mead, the port. You're loving it.
Come on, boys. But like, I've got a bit more into, like, now there are players I like, and there are things I get annoyed about, the way Marco Silva sets up the team, and bloody hell, they love to pass around the edge of the box. But like, I still don't have that. It wouldn't ruin my day.
I mean, I went to university in Liverpool. My best mate's a Scouser. We used to go to the Gladys Street end all the time and sit there.
Love that.
I would never really say I was supporting Everton, although I'd love it if they won. It was great. But it was more about the atmosphere of being at a football game, especially somewhere like
Street.
You know what I mean? It was amazing. It was like nothing I'd ever seen in my life.
Someone doing lines next year. So and the stewards were just like...
Someone doing mine. Mum?
I've told this story before, but there was a 14-year-old lad at one game in front of me with his, like, he looked about 12 actually.
Yeah.
He had his radio, this is how long ago it was, to his ear, and he's absolutely losing his shit. And someone goes, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "Southampton have just fucked my acca." Like, it's like a beautiful thing. So let's get to the bottom of this then.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go, you're allowed to enjoy it. You will know in yourself that you cannot support that team truly.
And if you do change allegiance, then you were never as much of a Man United diehard.
100%.
You probably just loved football generally, but I do think that is true.
When they were good.
When I was at uni, I was in Bristol, and Bristol City we went to quite a bit because of cheaper tickets. Very, very difficult club to fall in love with. Genuinely impossible. Please keep sending us your messages. Thank you, Andy T. Really appreciate it. Get in touch at hello@knockabout.com or on our socials at the Knockabout.
Right.
At Knockabout Pod, sorry.
Let's talk Le Bon, even though I don't want to this week.
I don't really want to either.
Either way, with Le Bon, we've been loving playing it because it has transformed our Saturday afternoons as a group.
Massively.
Firstly, because we're all on the app and we're all there every week going, so-and-so's winning, so-and-so's winning. You two were doing very well at one point with Lucas as well. You were smashing it through.
No, we all had about 70.
I've not checked it since about 3:00 on Saturday because I was fucked like from the start of that.
I was going to say it was a very, very quiet weekend from you this on Saturday, Pete, and actually the opposite of you. I was well on it on Saturday because I wasn't working. Yesterday, I was tied up at work, so I didn't get to follow it as much as I would like. I was actually fucked over by my own team, Everton, in the sense of losing points at the end. However, did not give the slightest of shites as that picture showed.
You had Liverpool to draw this weekend as well.
Do you know what though? The only time I think I actually put them to lose was actually the derby and
for anyone that's just followed us, Sarah has backed Liverpool to lose every single game.
Draw
or lose.
Refused to back Liverpool to win.
Yeah, basically.
Exactly.
Chelsea go and win this weekend, and you had them to draw, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is. I said to you before, didn't I? The two results that stopped me from having a really impressive score actually were Liverpool conceding in injury time for the second time.
Weirdly, we've ended up not too far from each other. All right, I'm on 50. Sarah's 62. Ted's on 70. You've done well there, Ted. One of our producers, Simon, on 122.
Is Simon flying this week?
Simon,
122 points.
Shout out, Simon.
That's a good point, that.
I mean, I had an annoying thing where, so basically, because the way it works, for those that don't know, is you put in every result, the scoreline you predict, you think it's going to be, and you get 26 points for correct score and 6 points for correct result, you know? My first two were bang on. So it was 2-1 and then 2-0. And I predicted them both perfectly. They were the first two games that finished. So I thought, great, I'm absolutely crushing this.
You're going to have a great weekend.
Man United let me down a bit in 3-1, but that's still the right way. And then it just flew off a cliff.
I tell you what I've been loving about Le Bon, right? Because A, it's with your mates, and B, it's score-based. You're trying to pick the scores that are going to happen in the games.
Yeah.
Last-minute goals change everything within your league.
100%.
So someone can be winning, and then you're having a great time going, I'm going to smash it this week. And then not only does a last-minute goal mean that you're not winning anymore, it means your mate has taken your money. Or the other way around.
Yeah.
Your mate can be winning, and not only does a last-minute goal mean that they're not winning anymore, it means that you're taking their money. It is a beautiful thing. It's amazing.
I've just discovered something. I've made a Le Bon discovery.
Go on,
genuinely. This is a Le Bon shell.
Oh, that's very good.
One, change the way the winnings are split in the group. So you can make it first, second, third. So if you have a bigger group with a lot of people, you can also split it so second place still gets something and third place still gets something in your group. I wouldn't recommend that because I quite like it. But the point is you can do that. So if you want less risk, maybe you can do that. And then on top of that, you can change the points scoreline. So that a correct result is 6 points still, but a correct score is 10 points. So you can reduce the influence of a correct scoreline. Now, I've just discovered this. I don't know what I think. We'd have to speak to Dev, who's the captain. I don't know whether we'd want to do that because it doesn't fit in with the universe.
I like where we're at the minute. I think that works well.
But I'm just saying this.
But that's interesting
choice,
to know,
isn't it?
The bit where you can change who gets the money 1, 2, and 3, especially in a bigger group, that might come in handy for us because I don't know if you two know this, but we have just launched our own Le Bon League that listeners can get involved in.
Oh,
So we're going to start doing this. If you want to get involved in this, check our bio on our socials and stuff like that. You'll be able to find our own league in there. It means that you're in a league with me, Sarah, and Ted. It means that each week you can see how, points-wise, how you're coming up against us. Like Ted said before, if you're in multiple leagues, you can actually pick different scores in each league that you're in.
So you can
you don't have to go straight in with that one. You can be a little bit tactical with this. And the main bit, Sarah, that we've loved as well, the universe.
Oh, the universe. And when you think about it, like £2 extra you put in, don't you, to enter the Le Bon universe where it's all the players, out of all the players, you always get an option to enter that for an extra £2. And some of the winnings that we've seen on
we've seen £4,000.
Oh, £4,000, like
this
£2,000.
Week's winner got 4.3 grand.
Great.
See, and it just makes you that much more invested. I mean, Ted, you've come really close a couple of times. It's been a killer. We've all thought Ted was going to win it, and it got to a point we're competitive amongst ourselves.
I enjoyed Ted not winning.
Twice I've come fifth.
Honestly, it's mad, and it is those scores. And we said before recording, didn't we? The last couple of weeks in the Premier League, there have been so many goals after 90 minutes. Like, I think there was 9 last weekend. I can think of the 2 this weekend. There might have been more, but the Liverpool conceding and Everton scoring one. Like, those in itself, as I said, I think I'd have probably been right up there on over 100 points.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't happen, but because there was goals. That is what makes it so good. And as you say, if you're in the universe, there's even more riding on it.
So the universe is an extra thing where we put £5 in for our group, and then you get the option to add £2 to the universe. The actual group, though, has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been loads of fun. It means that one of us lot ends up with the money, not a bookies, which I always think is a great thing.
Yeah.
It feels like a bit of a sweepstake. And like I say, it's a roller coaster through the weekend. Someone can be on great points at the start of the weekend. A last-minute winner will take those points away from them. And then if they suddenly get 2 correct score lines at the end of the weekend, they shoot up and they've won again.
Great,
it's a really good way of sticking some money behind the football with your mates. I really think it's great.
We love it. And we're not just... We absolutely love it. And the funniest thing is, at the game yesterday, when I'm still all in my emotions, like, I think Grealish had just scored, so I'm like this. The referee, there was 8 minutes, I think, added time, and he ended up playing like 113 or something crazy, and we were all like, not 130, there was like 103. We're fuming. And but I could see Lucas popped up in the group. So I was pissing myself, and it really lightened the stressful moment for me. So was it something like, oh, this is tight or something, and Lucas put fucking not anymore or whatever, and I was pissing myself because I was like,
I got the classic short-lived rain message. So shall we quickly do a check-in for how we're doing for the whole season?
Yeah, go on then, mate. Let's have a look.
On Le Bon. So,
where's my phone gone? Go on, you can tell
in
us.
bottom, so we're in a group with 6 people, with us 3, producer Lucas, and 2 of our other producers. In 6th place, with 310 points at the moment, is Sarah.
I've clawed it back a bit in the last couple of weeks, to be fair, haven't I?
Yeah,
I was
you were behind by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Then only 56 points ahead, so that's a good week away from leapfrogging. That's the hot dog.
Oh!
So in 5th. Then it's Lucas on 394. So again, you're close there.
We're gaining on Luke, especially you,
It's very tight because then Dev, another producer, is on 404. So that's fantastic, 10 points. And then only 18 points above him is Simon in second.
Simon and Dev
400
are crushing it, man.
And then 130 points ahead is me. So I mean, it's still catchable. It's a long season.
It is.
It's
plenty
not
there.
You know, I'm not out, but
that
there we go.
forfeit's not there yet. Right, we need to do our big bet for this week, and it is a little bit of a different one this week because it's international break.
Yeah.
So I've just had a little look at the Le Bon fixtures for next week. The one that stands out immediately is England-Wales.
Okay,
However,
we can work
that
with
is
that.
on Thursday night, and when it comes to an international fixture, I would like to pick something that's maybe a little bit different. The other one that stands out for me, because you can have some big scores, France-Azerbaijan. I think this would be an interesting one.
Oh,
Because I don't think the French have been playing that well as a national team recently.
How many do they win by kind of thing?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking. But I mean, if you look at the French, the last few games, all right, they beat Iceland 2-1 start of
God,
September.
yeah.
Ukraine, they beat them 2-0. Spain, we had 5-4. Obviously, that was the Nations League now. But like the last couple of games, the qualifiers, they're not like trouncing people. So I'm going to go France-Azerbaijan. I'm going to go a weird little game. I'm going to go 2-1 again. I think France will win 2-1.
Okay.
I think Azerbaijan will draw equal at some point, and then France will score a last-minute winner.
That is bold. Bold from the hot dog. I'm going to go 4-0, I think, for that one.
Oh, you're going big?
Yeah.
I'm going to go similarly in the middle. I'm going to go 3-1.
Okay, so Azerbaijan get a goal.
I think Azerbaijan will get a goal. I think it'll be a classic where it's like Azerbaijan get a goal when it's 2-1. Maybe looks a bit dicey for a second for the French. Is this going to be? And then they get 3-0. They're very comfortable, and it is against the run of play of the Azerbaijan goal.
Yeah.
But it's one of those sort of like, you know.
It happens.
It happens, and it's like, what's their mentality going to be like? For the record, I think England-Wales will be 2-0 England.
Okay, right, fair enough.
As my second follow-up.
I think 1-0 for that. I don't really watch England, to be honest.
No.
I don't.
Scousers, aren't you?
That's it, mate. Scouse, not English.
Scouse, not
I just
English.
I find it a bit boring because I
what you mean.
get so into my
Especially
club.
especially out of tournament football, I think England are extremely dull.
It's quite hard to get into international friendlies because there's not a lot. I mean, there's not a lot on the line really.
No.
Like you kind of. I mean, with the exception of 2008. Since I've been alive, it's always been sort of a formality to qualify. I remember, we just trounce teams, 5-6-0, get your occasional 1-1 or whatever, your odd one out and everyone loses their mind, and then you get to tournament. It's never really that interesting. But with the exception of that one game against Croatia, really, it's not that.
The bomb makes me enjoy international football.
Yeah,
because,
there you go.
Exactly, and it's true because I've got something that I'm actually asked about happening with it because I want to see how I do in Le Bon.
We are genuinely loving this.
Yeah.
If you want to join Le Bon, it's a great thing to do with your colleagues, your mates, your rugby team, your cricket team, your workmates, whatever.
Yeah.
Fantastic thing to do with that. Also, you can join our league as well, like I'm saying. So you can play directly against
I'm
me,
buzzing for that.
Sarah, Ted, and Lucas's mate, because he's the one that picks him every
Lucas
week.
can't do
Doesn't pick his
predictions
own.
himself, so he gets his mate to do it.
All you've got to do, download the Le Bon app. If you want to join our group, then you can find the link to that on the bios of all of our socials. And that is pretty much it for this week's episode of The Knockabout. It's been really fun. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you to Jack as well.
Yeah, we've not actually mentioned this. Lucas is on holiday again.
Yeah, he's having the best October ever.
He has a great old time, doesn't
And for
he?
those who can't see Jack, he looks exactly like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Right, we'll see you next week.